Good morning, everyone. Hope you all safe with a good health. With you, Ms. Dina Al-Badri, science teacher for grade 6. Um, Today, we will start our new lesson, quarter 4, lesson 1 in unit 1, Introduction to Ecology. Introduction to Ecology. How are living things connected? So, in this lesson, we will talk about the relation between living organisms and non-living things, and both of them, the relation between both of them, and the relation between both of them with the environment. Okay, let us start. Organisms need energy and matter to live. So, any living organism need energy and need a place to live. Okay. Interaction between organisms can cause exchange of energy and matter, creating a web of life. So, the interaction between organisms cause an exchange of energy and matter. So, all living organisms need to interact with each other to form an energy and matter in the environment. Okay? This is a life interaction between living organisms, non-living things, environment, all of this, it is the meaning of life. Okay? What is the meaning of the word ecology? It's the study of how organisms interact with one another and with the environment. So, when I ask you what is the meaning of ecology, it is the study of how organisms interact with one another and with the environment. How are all living things connected? Each individual organism has a role to play in the flow of energy and matter. In this way, organisms are connected to all other organisms, and their relation affect each one grow and survive. So, if a living organism compete each other, so the number of these members increase. Okay, so it will be decreasing the number of each other to survive. So the number of members will increase. Yeah. So we have two meaning describe the environment. First one, biotic factor. Biotic factor is an interaction between organisms in an area. So when the living organisms interact with each other, we call this biotic factor. And the other meaning, abiotic factor, is the non-living part of an environment such as water, nutrients, soil, sunlight, rainfall, or temperature. So the biotic factor, it includes the living organism, but abiotic factor, it includes the non-living part in the environment. Okay? Abiotic factor influence where organism can survive. What are the level of organization in the environment? The environment can be organized into different levels. From single organism to all, we can arrange them from the single organism to all of the organisms and their surrounding in an area. The level of organization gets more complex as more of the environment is considered. The first level, population. What is the meaning of the word population? Is a group of individuals of the same species that live in the same place at the same time. So, I have a group of individuals. This group from the same species, like a group of birds. And all these birds live in the same place in the same time, at the same time. Okay? What is the meaning of the word species? It means a group of the same type, a group of organisms from the same type, include organisms that are closely related and can mate to produce fertile offspring. Okay, like a group of monkey, a group of birds, a group of tigers, a group of lions, and so on. Individuals within a population often compete with each other for resources. So we know that all animals, sometimes human, they compete with each other for resources. Okay, any living organism, he competes with other to take more resource to be survive. It's the nature. What is the meaning of the word community? It is made up of all the population of different species that live in and interact in an area. So, what is the meaning of the word community? It is made up of all the populations of different species that live and interact in an area. The species in a community depend on each other for many things, such as shelter and food. Okay? So, community is a big word which describes the different population interact with environments. Different population with different species. Okay, so we have species. The species form population, and more than one population form a community. Organisms in community also compete with each other for resources, just as a member of population do. Ecosystem. What is the meaning of the ecosystem? It's a community of organisms and their non-living environments. Okay? So, ecosystem, it's the place which include living organisms and non-living things in environments. In an ecosystem, organisms and the environment exchange energy and other resources. All biotic factor and abiotic factor make up an ecosystem. So when I ask you, ecosystem consists of what? You will say living organisms and non-living things, or biotic factors and abiotic factors. Okay, that's all. Let us watch this video, and after that you are going to print the sheet from LMS and solve it. Send it on الواحة American Science Homework at gmail.com. Goodbye.
Our big, beautiful blue planet is in a complicated balance of life and death, predator and prey, friend and foe. The word ecology literally translates to the study of home, our home, planet Earth. The more specific definition of ecology is the study of the relations of organisms to one another and to their physical environment. It answers questions like, how do living things interact and rely on each other, or on their surroundings? The survival of any species is dependent on other living organisms and non-living components. This is called interdependence. For example, humans could not survive without plants to produce oxygen, and the plants need carbon dioxide from humans and other organisms, or even from volcanic eruptions. Ecology is extremely complex and difficult to study. So one way that ecologists deal with this complexity is to use ecological models to represent or describe the components of an ecological system. This model is called an ecosphere. The largest ecological system we know of is the biosphere, planet Earth. This is the only biosphere we study because, so far, it's the only place in the universe that we know has life. The biosphere is the thin veil on Earth that goes from above the ground to the deepest parts of the ocean. All life on Earth is in the biosphere. If you zoom in to one ecosystem, it's a little easier to see all the parts working together. An ecosystem is all the organisms and non-living environment found in a particular place. The living things in this pond ecosystem include fish, turtles, aquatic plants, algae, insects, birds, and bacteria. These organisms interact in ways that affect their survival. For instance, insects and fish eat aquatic plants, and the turtles eat the fish. The non-living or physical and chemical things include the chemical composition of the pond, its pH, its levels of dissolved oxygen and carbon dioxide, and its supply of nitrogen, which all help to determine what kinds of organisms live in the pond and how abundant they are. A community is all of the interacting organisms in an area. It does not include the non-living factors. A population is all of the organisms of one type of species in the area, and an organism refers to an individual animal. In order, the levels of organization from the most broad to the narrowest are the biosphere, ecosystem, community, population, and organism. When we talk